Hello, Sam McKnight, MBE, right? Hairdresser
Hello,
to the
John Pearson.
I know. Hairdresser to the stars, to the models, to the supermodels, collaborator with, oh gosh, with everyone, Chanel.
Even to you a couple of times, I think.
You did, yes. You looked after me for about 40 years ago while I had a moment. You are truly one of the most formidable talents in the hairdressing business. I'm not exaggerating. You're probably one of the best known, the most talented, the most celebrated. You're obviously famous partly in some small way for doing the hair of Princess Diana, the late Princess Diana.
Yeah.
But you've worked with just about every beautiful woman in the world. You have maintained a career in a cutthroat business for 40 years plus, dare I say? Plus. And so you're developing your own brand. You're still as in demand today as you were 30 years ago, which is extraordinary, but I can see why. So it's an absolute honor to come to your home. I'm a big fan of yours. I've loved your work. I've loved what you did in your garden, your passion with your family, with all the sort of the stuff that you do on social media always makes me feel good. And today you're the subject of our Mr. Feelgood. Who the fuck is you? So, who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you?
I don't know.
Who the fuck am I? Oh God, who am I? Forget sometimes. Well, I suppose I'm just who you just said I am. That's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam McKnight, hairdresser.
Yeah.
Hairdresser, is that what you say?
Yeah, hairdresser.
Hairdresser,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm just me. I know that's all we ever are, aren't we?
That's true.
We're me.
Yeah. All right.
Right?
That's good enough for me. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel better in old age than in youth. I had a lot of feel-good times in youth. But I think I was saying to my dear friend Mary Greenwell the other day, who's my contemporary, that old age seems to suit me.
Really?
Thank
But
God.
you-
Yeah.
I mean, you had a very exciting youth.
I have. It's been an amazing ride.
Yeah, it has
Youth,
been.
middle age, the whole thing's been
Yeah.
amazing, and I'm really grateful that
Yeah.
it's still amazing. But I think I feel, well, when you get older, you don't really give a shit what
Anymore,
people think, or
exactly.
it does. I mean, that's all gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and
right.
I'm lucky enough to be kind of, still successful and still happy in what I do.
Right.
And I mean, also that comes from not doing stuff that doesn't make you happy. So I'm lucky enough to have that choice. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
That's important. Yeah. Okay.
The criteria is it going to make me happy? Is it nice people?
Yeah.
Or is it loads of money?
Right.
But it kind of has to be all three, really.
Yeah. That's jackpot.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up and what was it like?
I grew up in a small mining village in southwest Scotland. Yeah. A very small mining village.
What's the name?
It's called New Cumnock.
Oh, okay.
And it's I mean, I still go back there. Yeah.
Okay. What was it like? Was it a working class background?
It was a very much. Yeah, my dad worked in the coal mine, and my mum worked in the local co-op till she was 60. When she was 14, I think. And so we, council house, tiny little council house, and but it was idyllic. I mean, we were very poor, but everyone else was. So you've only got that to kind of gauge it.
Yeah.
So
same as me. I mean, I was in Sheffield, same background. Everyone was in the same boat, kind of thing, economically, and it was just all about playing out in the fields and having a good time.
We were shoved out
Yeah.
first thing in the morning, or we went out first thing in the morning, and we'd be getting called in when it got dark.
Summertime.
Yeah.
One of your siblings are coming. Okay. What excites you?
What excites me? Life excites me. I think from getting older, I guess what excites me is new things excite me. I feel very much at the moment that time is ticking, and you become aware, because I'm 68.
Okay.
I'm not into repetition. I don't want to keep doing things that I've always done. I'm very interested in new adventures, if you like. Hence the product line, hence getting a puppy and another one, and hence having a kind of discovering garden, you know, in my 50s.
Oh, really? Was that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a whole life.
Oh, no,
pursuit.
it wasn't
really?
that.
So
No,
that's
it's
quite
all-
a new
yeah,
thing.
it's a new
Okay.
thing, yeah.
So that's interesting.
And it's been amazing with my memory. My dad had dementia from when he was in his mid-50s. So that's always in my head. And I think the doing new things helps create new patterns in your brain.
Right.
Well, it does for me.
Pathways.
Like new
Neural
pathways
pathways,
in your brain. And I think I read about that and I thought, okay. So the flower thing was so new, and I started taking pictures of flowers. I don't know what the names were. I don't know anything about it. And I knew a rose and a daffodil, but that was about it. So I'm pretty much self-taught. I asked lots of questions to my gardening friends and all that kind of stuff, and Google's a wonderful thing. And I read a lot of books and just made it up as I went along. But I'm learning all the time. I'm learning the names of things. I'm learning about soil, light, shade, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm by no means an expert, but it's been an amazing learning curve for me, as is starting a hair product line in my 60s, really.
That's
late
incredible.
50s,
When is that coming? That's
next year, hopefully.
next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Amazing.
mean, we're here in UK now, but next year, look out, US.
Okay. Amazing. What scares you?
What scares me? Oh God, what scares me? Scary movies scare me.
Me
I
too.
don't like watching them.
Me too. Never get that. I've never understood that. My kids watch them, but I can't.
No, I can't watch them either. I don't know. Does anything really scare me? Some people scare me sometimes. You know, some people you get a bad vibe from. It scares me, but I'm very aware of it. You know, scares. I suppose the ticking time clock scares me a little bit, because I'm trying to fit in things that I've never done before. It's just a thing you can't explain to someone who's younger, because it's a thing that happens when you realize you've got a finite time. You think, okay, I'm going to make the most of this. But that at the same time of scaring you, it kind of scares you into doing something about it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I suppose what scares me is the fear of not doing that.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. No, you want to fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of
absolutely.
distance run.
Yeah, and it has to be worthwhile.
Quality.
The people have to be worth
exactly.
it. Yeah.
It's all about quality time, people, product,
absolutely.
everything.
So time is the precious thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. What's your proudest achievement?
I suppose my proudest achievement would be lasting this long.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes I can't believe it. You know, sometimes I think, wow, I'm still. I mean, I just did a show this morning with teenage models. I can't believe I'm still here, and people are still booking me. And I've just been with Cindy Crawford and Christy Turlington and all the other girls this week, and I've worked recently both with Cindy and Christy's daughters, respectively.
Unbelievable.
And we were laughing and talking about that, and they're really lovely. And I said, guys, I'm not working with the grandchildren. I ain't gonna be here.
I don't know.
And then, and I don't know. You know? And then the next thought was, oh, well, maybe I will. You know? Yeah. Anyway.
That's fantastic. Well, it's amazing. You had 3 jobs this morning before we came to see you.
I've had 3 jobs today.
So what time did you start? What time were you out the door this morning?
I left home at 7. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to do?
God, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Oh, God, life's not really been that hard, touch wood. The hardest thing I've ever had to do. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to do? I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay.
I suppose you're kind of. I don't know. What is the hardest thing? Is the hardest thing kind of letting go of the past? Is that what the hardest thing is? I think probably it is for me. Sort of, the hardest thing is letting go of things that don't bring you joy, or you're not getting anything from. Not that you need to be getting things from, but things that are draining. It goes back to the things that are you wasting your time on, and I think those things when you're younger can be hard. I think when you're younger, letting go is harder, but you kind of age somehow has made that easier. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who was your greatest mentor, and what did they teach you?
My greatest mentor. Well, I had an amazing 7 years working with Princess Diana, and she was a great. She was a great believer in self-help. She was a natural sort of nurse. She naturally helped people. She couldn't help it.
She was empathetic.
She really was. And she, you know, it would be not uncommon to have a discussion about problems mutually. And she was always she was there with great advice, because she was quite sort of sage, and I think that's what the public saw in her too, because she couldn't hide that. It was a natural thing. I mean, she took me to the most amazing places with her, to refugee camps in Afghanistan and Mother Teresa's in Calcutta, and I saw a whole different view of the world that I would never have. I had seen a lot of the world in the fashion business. Incredible. This was something else, and yeah, I guess. Unwittingly, she probably was. She had an enormous effect on me.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Who are your fictional and real life heroes?
Oh, fictional. Oh God, you're asking such a weird question.
Weird questions, did you
yeah.
say? Well,
Fictional
you didn't.
and real
life. Well,
I don't. I'm not really a hero worshipper.
Yeah. No, you're not.
I'm not a
You
hero
never have
worshipper. I just kind of
Get on with it.
Get on with it, you know.
Okay.
And I think sometimes I can get infatuated with people. I can get really interested in people, but like when I'm not really good at really sort of fantastical films, or I'm a bit more. I'm a bit more real. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like things to be more.
I just keep thinking of was it Kenneth Williams clip you sent me the
Yeah.
other day? I know you have a wonderful sense of humour, which you've always had. You love to laugh, don't you?
I do.
You love comedy. You love timing. You're witty. You're smart.
I appreciate good humour.
You do. Yeah.
I really do.
No, I hear you.
I appreciate good, clever people who don't take themselves seriously.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
Dame Edna and all.
All that.
The
Or
good
just
ones.
even people in real life. Like
Yeah.
you're not like that, you know. And I know you don't take yourself too seriously. Do you know? And
I hope not.
No, but you know, you've got that northern humour. I think there's something about having a sense of humour about yourself that I find very, very attractive, and that it makes you feel good.
Right on.
You know?
Do
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Maybe not attracted, but I'm drawn to people who have a sense of humour.
Right on. We all need to laugh. Right.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there? Really.
I know. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What is your favourite item of clothing in your wardrobe?
God, my favourite. I mean, I hate wearing clothes. I'm really happy to get home, get my clothes off, and just have a pair of boxer shorts on. But my favourite item of clothing, what I got?
Chanel. Dressing gown that
I
Carl
don't
gave you.
have
No?
I don't have anything like that at all. No.
Okay.
No.
I like the shirt.
kind of. Yeah. I had tons of clothes from the 80s.
Right.
That I sold at auction a couple of years ago, and because they were really beautiful old Comme des Garçons, Yoji, Gautier, you know, Com, all that. I've just said that. So Westwood. So I sold all that and gave the money to charity a few years ago.
Beautiful.
Because it was just hanging around there on the wardrobe, and I was hanging on to it, and I'm never going to fit in it again. But I'd take it out now and again to look at it, because there were such beautiful pieces that you don't really get anymore, you know? Yeah. Even though it wasn't couture, I mean, the ready-to-wear was so beautifully made, you know?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to let go of that.
Yeah.
And when I did let go, I thought, I'm going to give the money to charity. So that made me really feel good that it was going somewhere, and it was going to people who may wear it. A couple of museums bought them,
amazing
stuff like that. So when you say what's my favorite item in my clothes, I don't really have one.
Okay. What music did you love age 13, and do you still love it now?
13. When would 13 have been?
10 years after me. So
80, no,
No.
1968.
1968.
I suppose, I don't know what the year would have been, but by then I was, listen, I used to swim a lot when I was a kid, and there was an open air swimming pool in the next village. And I think from the age of 8 years old, I used to go on the bus and go to the swimming pool, swim. It was an amazing swimming pool. And I pretty much lived in there throughout the summer months, and it was probably freezing cold in Scotland. I know it was. I mean, I still go because they have open air days, and I've
really?
been swimming in the snow in Boxing Day. It is heated though.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, so I would swim there, and I still, when there's certain songs like Sonny and Cher, Bang Bang, there's the Beach Boys, there is like Mamas and the Papas, there's all kind of stuff like that that's from that era that takes me absolutely right, but I can smell the chlorine. You know?
Yeah. I feel that totally.
Over the tannoy system.
Oh, I know, isn't it
Yeah.
something? It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gets you.
Yeah, no,
Gets you.
straight away, straight there.
It's funny, I was thinking, reflecting as I am at 58 years old, and on the importance and the quality of time in your life, and people, and events, and your energy. You know, how long am I going to be fit like this, or whatever. And I thought the two things I'll really miss are music, when I hear something, and I don't spend enough time listening to music now than I used to.
I don't either.
But when I do,
I'm the same.
it's just, I'm like, why don't I do this more often? Because it makes me feel good. And landscapes, gardens, things like that.
Yeah.
And then the third thing was laughter. Having a laugh with people you love. There's nothing better than being with
Well,
someone.
you've just said the three things that I love too. I discovered walking about 10, 15 years ago. Now, I do a lot of walking.
Oh,
that's part of the reason I got a dog. But so I do a lot of long, 10, 15 mile walks in the English countryside,
Nice.
up on the Upper Thames, and
Nice.
it's.
Do you go to the lakes or not?
No, it's kind of always on my list, but there's
Okay.
so much to discover. I love going visiting all the amazing gardens in the south of England, and there's always a nice walk attached to it. Even walking from Kew Bridge to Richmond and Petersham back, and it's
beautiful.
incredible.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah. Done it. Yep. Okay. What is the most inspiring book you have ever read?
Oh, I read books. I read books all the time.
Which is the first one that comes to mind that you?
Well, I say recently I read The Tattoos of Auschwitz.
Oh,
Have you read that?
I haven't read that, but someone else told me
Absolutely
about
brilliant
that the
book.
other day.
And then I read the follow-up called The Three Sisters.
Okay.
The Tattoos of Auschwitz. When we're reading these things, it's hard to believe that it actually happened. You know, it's quite extraordinary. And then you got to switch on to now when you think, oh, well, actually, it's uncanny. But they're so beautifully written. They're not gruesome reads. They're just, I almost think everyone should read them. It's just, the writer contacted, if I get this correct, the writer contacted I can't remember exactly how it was, but it's about this guy who was the tattooist of Auschwitz, and the writer wrote a book and tried to get it published, tried to get it made into a film. Then it was published as a book. A lady in South Africa read the book and then contacted the writer and said, my mother-in-law is one of three sisters who were there at the same time as him, and they came from the same village, and they would love to talk to you. So there was another book called The Three Sisters, and then I read The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh yeah.
And it just, I just think there was all such beautifully written books about a really, really terrible, terrible time, and I think that mustn't be denied or forgotten.
Exactly.
They really moved me, those books.
And who gave you your love of reading? Where did that come from? Mother, father,
Do you know what
grandma?
I did?
Or you just did it on the road?
I read a lot when I was a kid and then stopped. And then probably about 15 years ago, I picked up a book again and I've read a lot since then.
Really? I thought you were reading when we were working, when we were doing trips.
No, I
you
wouldn't have
weren't?
been. Well, you know what? I might have been a bit, but I kind of.
You really got into it
I
more.
really got
Okay.
into it later. Yeah, I was probably too busy disco dancing when we were working.
You
There was
did
a lot of that.
You did a
going
lot of
on.
that.
Yeah,
There was a lot of that. A lot of late nights and
lot
smoky
of that.
mornings.
There's
You
a
know,
lot
when
of
we
that,
were on the
yeah,
beach at 5 a.m. with Pamela Hansen and okay, let's go. What is a movie that left a lasting impression on you?
I'm not a big movie goer. I really am not a big movie. I'm not a big movie goer. I'm not a big TV watcher. I haven't been to the cinema for about 25 years.
Oh, wow,
No.
really?
Yeah,
Wow,
no,
okay,
I'm not really. I don't know. I like an old movie. Someone on Facebook the other day was talking about The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, yeah.
The original.
Yeah, it's great.
And it is quite incredible.
It is amazing.
I mean, I like an old film.
Yeah.
I like old music. I like an old film. I like a good 70s film. You
Okay.
know? I'm quite diverse, really. But I do love the films like The Manchurian Candidate. They don't really make anymore.
Right. Or
But
Network.
oh my God,
Mate,
Network
that's
is
amazing.
incredible. That kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Chinatown.
Chinatown, yeah. You'd get on
The
with
Rocky
mine.
Horror Show.
Oh, yeah.
The Rocky Horror
Yeah,
Show.
amazing.
I went to a wedding there recently, to the place where they had actually filmed it.
Okay.
And
Did you dress?
no, I didn't dress. It wasn't that kind of wedding. But that was in the theatre when I came to London in '73, first time. And that was the original cast were in the theatre.
Oh, okay.
And
Tim Curry,
I
right?
mean, it blew my blew my mind. It was absolutely incredible, and it was
love
just
to see
so.
that.
It was so ahead of its time. Anyway,
Right. Okay. Not a couple more. What is your favourite word or saying?
word of saying.
Word or saying. What's your favourite word or saying?
I hope it's not. Do you know what I mean? I hope it's not that.
What do you say most often?
Don't know. I don't know. What do I say most often?
Could be a cuss word. Do you cuss? Do you curse?
I
Do you swear?
Yeah, I've been known to.
Say an odd, rude word or two?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know.
Thank
My
you.
favourite
Nice
word.
to see you.
I do like thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think thank you is really important.
I
you know?
think it's massively
Yeah,
important. I
thank
think
you.
it's lacking hugely at the
Yeah,
moment
I
in
think-
society,
I think
right?
Thank you is really, really important, especially when you're driving as well. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
A bit
course.
of courtesy goes a long way.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it kind of diffuses the anger.
It
That's
does.
Kind of everywhere these
Yes,
days,
it does,
yeah.
and it makes you feel good that you haven't jumped up in defiance
Well, I think
and
what's
defense.
really good is communication. I think there's a lack of communication these days because everyone's on their
Yeah,
machines.
exactly.
And I think interaction and communication is. I hope we don't. Could that sound really old?
No, you don't. I was so well. We're the same age
Yeah.
almost, but all of us, even my kids, though, they're thankfully into really. They don't do
Yeah.
stuff like that. They want to have. They're longing to have a proper conversation with people. This is an interesting one. What do you want people to say about your funeral?
Oh, I don't really care. I mean, you know, I've got no control over it. I mean, I talked to my mum one day, not that long before she died, and this Barbra Streisand song came, I can't know, Evergreen or something.
Oh, yeah.
Came. I mean, we love Barbra
I
Streisand.
can hear it.
It came on the radio. She just said, you know what, I'd like that played at my funeral. And I said, you can't have that. It's really sad. She said, why not? She went, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't care anyway, I'll be dead. And I thought, and I thought that's exactly how I think. That is,
Right on.
do what you want. You'll be gone. Yeah.
Just good food and a dance.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. You'll
I
be
mean,
gone.
she did have good food. It was amazing, the food at her funeral.
it?
I was left with my pocket stuffed for the train back.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. 5 final favourite quick fire. Favourite car?
Oh, definitely the one I've got, Range
Which is?
Rover. Yeah, the best car I've ever had. Absolutely. It's my second one. I love it.
And it's pretty darn sexy.
And I've still got my convertible BMW from '88
Ooh.
that I gave to one of my assistants, and he still drives it in Liverpool. So it's 36 years old.
What colour
next
is it?
year, 35 this year. Black convertible 3 Series.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sports team?
I'm not sporty.
Meal?
Meal, definitely a bacon sandwich. I'd say
White or brown bread?
white bread, no sauce.
Butter?
Oh, definitely butter. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Clothing label. Oh, sorry, no. Grooming products.
Grooming product. I would have to say my own, really, but I haven't got any hair. But my favourite aftershave, I would say, is I still wear Dior or Sauvage.
Okay. And clothing label. Favorite clothing label.
I just have to be Comme des Garçons, really. Okay. I still love Comme. It's great.
It's so lovely to see you.
Is that it?
That's it.